I torched the only bridge I had left to my old life that night, not with gasoline, but with a single email sent from a burner account at 2 a.m., the kind of message that doesn't just burn. It incinerates reputations, exposes lies, and leaves everyone scrambling in the ashes. My best friend since kindergarten, the one I'd covered for when she drove drunk and wrapped her daddy's Porsche around a tree, whispered in my ear at the gala that I'd never fit in with the elite crowd we'd clawed our way into. Then she signed the paper that got me blackballed. And when the club's board called me non-compliant, without so much as a hearing, I didn't scream or sue. I smiled into the void and decided to play their game, rule by goddamn rule, until the whole rotten empire crumbled under the weight of its own hypocrisy. They say Chicago's Gold Coast is where dreams go to die rich, and I'd bought that lie hook, line, and sinker. Born in a walk-up in Pilsen to a single mom who slung coffee at a diner off Halstead, I hustled my way through community college on scholarships and grit, landing a junior analyst gig at a boutique investment firm on Michigan Avenue. That's where I met Elena Vasquez. Elena with her trust fund glow and old money smirk, the kind of girl who summered in the Hamptons and wintered in Aspen without ever checking the forecast. We bonded over late-night spreadsheets and bad takeout Thai, her calling me her ride or die, while I laughed off the way she dropped names like breadcrumbs. My family's in with the alderman, or Daddy knows the mayor from the club. The club, the Pinnacle Club, perched like a crown on the 52nd floor of the Aon Center, wasn't just a members-only spot for the city's power players. It was the velvet rope between who mattered and who fetched their drinks. Elena got me the sponsor letter after 2 years of proving I could handle the firm's cutthroat deals without cracking. "You're one of us now, Chloe," she said, popping the cork on a bottle of Veuve we'd smuggled into her Lincoln Park loft. I believed her. Hell, I tattooed that belief into my skin, metaphorically speaking, with every late night I pulled to impress her crowd. Initiation was a blur of handshakes and NDAs. Sign here for discretion, nod there for loyalty. The rules were etched in marble above the mahogany bar: integrity, discretion, excellence. No explanations needed. You either embodied them or you were out. I thrived at first, networking with hedge fund wolves in bespoke suits, closing deals that padded my 401k like insulation against the Windy City's bite. Elena and I were inseparable. Brunches at the Purple Pig, gallery crawls in River North, whispering secrets over Cosmos at the club's private lounge. She confided in me about her father's infidelities, the pressure of being the Vasquez heiress. I told her about Mom's cancer scare, how I'd buried the medical bills under student loans. "We're family now," she'd say, clinking glasses. Family. But cracks spiderwebbed in fast. It started with the whispers. At a firm retreat in Door County, one of Elena's suitors, a slick venture capitalist named Marcus Hale, cornered me by the fire pit. "You're Elena's little project, right? The diversity hire." His laugh was a gut punch, but I played it cool, sipping my bourbon neat. Back in the city, invitations to the club's inner sanctum dried up. Elena blamed scheduling. "Board elections coming up. Everyone's paranoid." I nodded, but doubt gnawed like Lake Michigan fog. Then came the night that shattered it all. Mom's diner shifted to graveyard hours, so I was crashing at Elena's more often. One storm-lashed Friday, I stumbled home early from a client dinner, soaked to the bone, keying into her loft just as thunder rattled the windows. The bedroom door was ajar, and there they were, Elena, tangled in silk sheets with Marcus, her laughter muffled against his chest. "Chloe's so naive," she was saying. "She thinks she's in. But the board? They'll never stomach her background. Non-compliant from the jump." I froze, water pooling at my feet, heart hammering like a jackhammer on asphalt. Non-compliant. The word she'd tossed like confetti, but now it landed like a blade. I backed out silent as a ghost, Ubering to my own shoebox apartment in Wicker Park, replaying it on loop. Was that why the invite stopped? Why Marcus's buddies eyed me like an exhibit at the Field Museum? Sleep evaded me. By dawn, I'd hacked into the club's member portal. Nothing fancy, just a forgotten password from Elena's laptop I'd glimpsed during a study session. The bylaws glowed on my screen. Article 7, Compliance Clause. Members must uphold the club's standards without question. Violations lead to immediate expulsion, no appeal. Buried in the fine print, a sponsor's veto power, irrevocable. Elena's digital signature stared back at me, dated 2 weeks prior. Chloe Ramirez. Non-compliant due to undisclosed familial associations. Familial associations? Mom's side had ties to a union bust in the 80s. Nothing criminal, just blue-collar grit the club deemed unrefined. I'd never hidden it. Hell, I'd joked about it at mixers. But Elena? She'd known from day one. She'd vouched for me, then flipped the script to climb higher, trading my loyalty for a seat at Marcus's table. Rage boiled slow, like gumbo on a Louisiana stove. My abuela's recipe simmered low until it singed the soul. I could have confronted her, aired it at the next brunch. But that was too clean, too American dream neat. No, this called for something biblical. Eye for an eye, American Gothic. I'd follow their rules. Exactly. Dissect them like a contract I'd written myself, weaponizing every comma and subclause until the pinnacle choked on its own exclusivity. First move, documentation. I printed the bylaws, highlighted like a law student's fever dream. Article 3. Transparency in membership. Sponsors must disclose conflicts. Elena hadn't. Article 9. Recourse for false accusation. Members may petition for review with evidence. I'd gather mine, brick by brick. Monday morning, I walked into the firm like nothing had fractured. Elena waved from her corner office, all teeth and highlights. Coffee run, she chirped. I smiled back, sharp as a stiletto. Sure. Black, 2 sugars. Just like you like your secrets. She blinked, but I was already dialing facilities. Need the conference room booked. Board presentation. It was a lie, but lies were currency here. By noon, I'd filed my petition, emailed to the board's anonymous drop, CC to no one. Evidence attached, screenshots of Elena's portal access, timestamps aligning with her veto. No accusations, just facts. Per the rules. The response came swift, a curt rejection. Petition denied. Compliance is final. No signature, no explanation. Classic pinnacle. Power without accountability. The kind that built empires on the backs of the invisible. That's when the hook sank deeper. If they wouldn't explain, I would. To everyone. But not yet. Patience, Chloe. Let it fester. Weeks blurred into a tense waltz. Elena pulled away, her texts turning to emojis and excuses. Marcus's crowd iced me out at the water cooler. Whispers followed me to the elevators. Heard she's on thin ice. I leaned harder into work, closing a merger that netted the firm's 7 figures, my name on the press release like a trophy. Mom called from the diner. Mija, you sound haunted. What's eating you? I lied smooth, just the grind. But nights were war rooms. I mapped the board. 12 suits, old as the loop cell tracks. Top dog. Harlan Whitaker, real estate baron with a penthouse view of the Willis, Tower. His daughter, Lila, was Elena's sorority sister from Northwestern. Then there was Judge Evelyn Hart, the club's iron-fisted enforcer, who'd once quashed a scandal involving her nephew's insider trading. Connections webbed out like a spider's trap. Marcus's dad on the finance committee, Elena's father donating wing funds. My secret weapon? The buried one. 2 years back, during a bender after a lost pitch, Elena had crashed her Jag into a cyclist on Lakeshore Drive. The kid, 18, UIC freshman, walked away with a broken leg, but the headlines would have tanked her. I was the one who drove her home, paid the kid's med bills from my savings, and buried the police report with a favor from a firm paralegal. You're saving my life, Chloe, she'd sobbed. I'd borne that weight, told no one, not even Mom. Her crime, my silence. Deep betrayal? This was a chasm. I started small. Anonymous tips to the club's gossip mill, a private Slack I'd infiltrated via a disgruntled bartender. Heard Vasquez girl's sponsor history is spotty. Rumors rippled. Elena's invites thinned. Marcus ghosted her calls. She cornered me and the ladies at a firm happy hour. What's this shit I'm hearing? You stirring the pot. Her eyes were wild, mascara smudged like war paint. I sipped my gin Ricky, cool as Lake Superior. Just following the rules, Elena. Transparency, remember? She laughed, brittle. You think you can touch me? My family's the reason this city runs. Then why do you need me to clean up your messes? The words hung, toxic. She paled, stormed out. Victory tasted like ash. But Harlan Whitaker noticed. An email pinged. Ms. Ramirez, a word? My heart stuttered. The boardroom summon. Game on. Harlan Whitaker's office wasn't in the club. It was the club, a shrine to gilded age excess with walls paneled in walnut from some raised Chicago mansion, a desk big enough to land a Piper Cub. He sat behind it like a king on his throne, silver hair slicked, tie a slash of crimson silk. "Chloe," he drawled, voice like gravel under tires. "Sit. Whiskey." "No, thank you." I perched on the leather wingback, hands folded, the picture of poise. Inside, my pulse thrummed like the L at rush hour. He poured anyway, neat, and slid it across. "Heard about your petition." Bold move. Most folks slink away. "Rules encourage recourse, Mr. Whitaker." I met his gaze, steel on steel. Article 9. A chuckle rumbled out. "Quoting bylaws now? You're a lawyer in analyst's clothing." He leaned back, steepling fingers. "But let's cut the charade. Elena's veto stands. Familial ties, your mother's union days. We can't have that taint in our ranks." "Taint." The word scalded. She waited tables, Harlan. Fought for fair wages. That's Chicago grit, not scandal. "Grit's fine for the South Side," he said, waving a hand. "But Pinnacle? We're curating excellence. You get it, or you don't." I didn't flinch. And Elena? Her father's bailouts during the '08 crash funneled club funds to his failing REITs. That's excellence. His eyes narrowed. A flicker of something, surprise? Calculation? Ancient history. And irrelevant. Not if audited. I slid a folder across. Printouts from public records, cross-referenced with club financials I'd FYI'd through a shell contact. Article 5, Fiscal Integrity. All transactions transparent. He flipped through, face impassive as lake ice. "Amusing. But you're out, Chloe. Non-compliant. Accept it. Or what? Blackball me firm-wide." I stood, voice low. "I've closed more deals than half your board. Try it." The door clicked open behind me. Judge Hart. All pearls and pinched lips. "Harlan, we have a problem." She glanced at me, dismissive. "Evict the help." I was halfway down the hall when my phone buzzed. "Elena, meet me." The Gauge. Now. The Gauge was our old haunt, a Wicker Park dive with sticky floors and craft IPAs that tasted like regret. She was at the corner booth, 3 sheets to the wind, hair a mess. "You bitch," she hissed as I slid in. "Digging into Dad?" Harlan called. "Said you're gunning for expulsion." "Mine too." "Truth hurts, doesn't it?" I signaled the bartender. 2 shots of Malort, the wormwood burn we used to chase dares. "You labeled me non-compliant to cover your ass. Remember the jag? That kid's leg?" I took the hit. Her face crumpled, then hardened. "You think that makes us even? I made you, Chloe. Introduced you to this world. You used me." The shots arrived. I pushed hers over. "Drink. For old times." She did, slamming it back. "Marcus is dumping me. Says the board's jittery. All because of your little audit stunt." "Good." The word tasted sweet, fermented. Rules are rules. Elena's laugh was jagged. "You want to play? Fine. But you don't know the half." She leaned in, breath hot with bitters. "Harlan's got skeletons. That union your mom picketed? He broke it. Hired scabs, framed activists. One of them? Your Uncle Raoul. Disappeared after." Poof. My stomach dropped. Uncle Raoul, Mom's brother, the one with stories of factory floors and fiery speeches. Missing since '92, ruled a runaway. Bullshit. Check the obits. Or don't. But if you push, it unravels everyone, including you. She stood, wobbling. "Non-compliant goes both ways, chica." I sat there till last call, Malort curdling in my veins. Elena's twist. A buried secret, one-eyed born without knowing. Mom had shielded me, saying Raoul went west for work. But Whitaker, if true, he'd crushed lives for profit, and the club covered it like a rug over bloodstains. Home by cab, I dove into the digital deep end. Ancestry sites, archived trib articles, even a shady forum for labor ghosts. Threads unraveled. Raul Ramirez, arrested during the strike, bailed by Whitaker's Shell Corp., then vanished. A coroner's report, hushed. Accidental drowning. Body pulled from the Calumet River. Witnesses? Silenced with payoffs. Elena hadn't lied. And the club? They'd toasted Harlan's resolve in the minutes. Dawn broke gray over the lake, and with it, resolve. No more petitions. Time for precision strikes. I lawyered up, pro bono from a South Side firm specializing in wrongful exclusion, the kind that ate WASP clubs for breakfast. Class action potential. My attorney, Ms. Torres, said over Zoom. If we tie it to discrimination, race, class, they fold. But lawsuits were slow, Public. I wanted intimate ruin. Next, the flip. Elena called again, voice syrupy. Truce? Girls' night. My treat. I went. The purple pig, corner table, duck fat fries steaming. She was dolled up, remorse in her eyes. I was scared, Chloe. Marcus pressured me. The veto was his idea. To test you. Test passed. I speared a fry, dipped it slow. She reached across, squeezing my hand. You're my sister. Forgive. The old me would have melted. But this Chloe? I squeezed back, nails digging just enough. Sisters share burdens. Like that report I buried. Her smile faltered. What do you want? Alliance. Lie 1. Against Marcus. He's the snake. She bought it, spilling. His side deals, laundering club dues through offshore shells. Evidence. Her phone pics of ledgers. I mirrored my screen, capturing it all. Lie 2. We'll expose him quiet. Protect the club. By dessert, she was all in, texts plotting, even a shared Google document trust rebuilt, fragile as spun sugar. But I fed it to Torres. Leverage, she said. If Elena flips again, we own her. She did flip. A week later, at the club's annual gala, black tie, chandeliers dripping light like melting diamonds, Elena sidled up, arm linked with Marcus. Chloe, darling. She cooed, loud for the crowd. Still chasing shadows? The room hushed. Harlan watched from the bar, a vulture in velvet. Marcus smirked. Heard you're non-compliant. Firm's letting you go, quietly. Fired. The word hit like a sucker punch. I'd known it was coming, but hearing it? Air sucked out. I raised my champagne flute, voice carrying. To compliance. May we all follow the rules. To the letter. Laughter rippled, uneasy. Elena's eyes darted. Good. That night, the first leak. Marcus's ledgers, anonymized, to the Sun-Times tip line. Club insider trading? The headline teased next morning. Stock dipped. Board panicked. Elena texted. You? I replied, swear on Mom. Lie 3. Tension coiled tighter. Mom sensed it during our Sunday call. Chloe, vengeance is a heavy coat. Warms at first, then chokes. Wise woman. But the coat fit. Whitaker summoned again. Call off your dogs, Ms. Ramirez. Or we bury you. Bury. I echoed. Like Raul. His face blanched, then fury. Out. I left laughing. The audit was just beginning. Chicago autumns are traitors. Golden leaves one day, gale force, sleet the next. It matched my mood as I trudged to the firm's glass tower, severance papers clutched like a death warrant. The receptionist buzzed me up, pity in her eyes. HR's waiting, Chloe. HR was a beige purgatory, motivational posters, teamwork makes the dream work, clashing with the axe's edge. Carla from compliance slid the packet over, non-disparagement clause, ironclad. Sign, and you get the payout. Quiet exit. I scanned it, pen hovering. Quiet like Elena's veto. She blinked. I can't discuss. Article 12 of the club bylaws, I said, voice pitched for the hidden mic I suspected. Members must not interfere with professional affiliations. The Pinnacle's tendrils snaked deep. Half the execs were dues payers. Carla fidgeted. This is firm policy. I signed, slow, then added in the margin, see attached. Slipped in a USB, club financials, Whitaker's REIT ties, Elena's veto scan. For your files. Her eyes widened. Chloe. Compliance. I winked. Out the door before security twitched. Unemployed at 28, with a sublet lease and Mom's hospital copays looming. But freedom tasted like the first drag of a forbidden smoke behind the high school bleachers. I sublet a crash pad in Logan Square. Artsy, affordable, walls thin enough to hear the neighbors' fights, and dove into the deep web of revenge. Torres filed the suit that week. Ramirez versus Pinnacle Club et al. Allegations. Discriminatory exclusion, breach of contract, conspiracy to defame. We'll settle for membership reinstatement and damages, she said over phone in Uptown. But push for discovery. They hate sunlight. Discovery, the scalpel. Subpoenas flew. Emails, ledgers, witness depots. Elena lawyered up first, her firm's shark circling. Baseless harassment. Marcus invoked the fifth on his shell companies. Harlan? Stonewalled, citing proprietary rituals. Rituals. The word conjured robes and whispers, but Pinnacle was no skull and bones. It was capitalism in cufflinks. I prepped for my depot, practicing in the mirror. Calm, factual, lethal. Ms. Vasquez sponsored me, then vetoed without cause. Here's the timestamp. The defense probed. Any prior conflicts? Debts? Affairs? Fishing for dirt? I gave them Elena's Jag Night, sanitized. I assisted a friend in need. No police involvement. Let them dig, the hole would bury them. Twist came mid-depo. Elena's attorney called a recess, pulled me aside in the courthouse lobby, marble echoes, fluorescent hum. Off-record plea. Drop the suit. Elena testifies against Whitaker. Says he coerced the veto, covered Raul's death. My blood iced. Coerced how? Blackmail. Knew about the accident. Threatened exposure. Her eyes, guilty, gleaming. She's flipping. For real this time. Flip number 2. Elena, the chameleon, shedding skin to save her own. I nodded, poker-faced. Tell her I'll consider. But I didn't sleep. Raul's ghost paced my dreams. Broad shoulders, union pin glinting, voice like thunder. Fight fair, Sabrina. Fair. This city ate fair for breakfast. I met Elena at a neutral spot. Montrose Point Dog Beach, off-leash chaos masking our words. Waves lapped gray, labs splashed. She bundled in cashmere, shivering. Chloe, I swear, this time truth. Harlan killed Raul. Drowned him after the strike, made it look like suicide. Club hushed it, my dad signed off. Proof? A flash drive. Audio clip. Harlan's voice gravelly on an old line. Raul talks, he swims with the fishes. Handle it. Timestamp, 92. Jackpot. But why give me this? What's the catch? She knelt, petting a stray mutt. Marcus left me. Broke. Dad's furious. Suit's tanking his rep. I need out. Immunity if I turn states. States. I crouched, meeting her eyes. This is civil. Unless we go criminal. Manslaughter, cover up. Feds love club scandals. Her smile twisted. Partners. The old pull tugged, sisters against the world. But trust? Shattered like the Jag's windshield. I pocketed the drive. Partners. We plotted. Leak the audio to Torres. Amend the suit to wrongful death. Elena as star witness. But I hedged. Copied the file to my cloud. Encrypted triple. If she flipped again. She did, faster than a Southside switchblade. Galanite redux. Pinnacle's winter fate. Now a war zone of whispers. SEC sniffing Marcus's trades. Headlines screaming, elite clubs, dirty money. I crashed it uninvited. Borrowed gown from a thrift on Division. Hairpinned fierce. Security waved me through. Lawsuit buzz made me untouchable. Elena spotted me first, champagne flute trembling. You came. Relief, then, calculation. Harlan's cornered. Talk to him. I followed her weave through tuxes and gowns, past Judge Hart's glare. Harlan at the balcony, city lights sprawling like conquered turf. Ms. Ramirez. Persistent. Justices. I handed him the drive copy, empty. Listen later. Your legacy. He pocketed it, smirking. Blackmail now? From the help? Elena hovered. Then, tell her, Harlan. About Raul. His face thunder. You little. She wheeled on me. Venom. He's bluffing. But if you drop the suit, we cut you in, settlement share. Real money. Flip 3. Allying with the devil to screw me sideways. You gave me the audio to bait him? Play both ends. For survival. She shrugged, American as apple pie a la mode. You'd do the same. I laughed hollow. Already am. Whipped out my phone. Hit send. Audio to the trib, CC Torres. Partners till the end, Elena. Her scream cut the chatter. Heads turned. You bitch. Security. They came, but I was down the fire stairs, heels clicking escape. Outside, sleet stung. I hailed a cab, drive burning in my pocket. The leak hit at midnight. Pinnacle mogul linked to 92 Union death. Harlan's empire quaked. Elena called at 3 a.m., sobbing. Why? I was saving us. Saving you. Click. Morning brought feds, FBI, suits crisp as fresh bills. Knocking at my door. Ms. Ramirez? We need to talk. Raul's ghost smiled. But tension peaked. Marcus, cornered, flipped too. Testified Elena knew about the cover-up from girlhood, her dad's complicity. Judge Hart resigned amid ethics probes. The club? Fractured, members bailing like rats from the John Hancock. I testified, voice steady. They called me non-compliant. I showed them compliant, with truth. Jury deliberated days. Polarizing. Was I hero or harpy? Betrayed underdog or vengeful climber? Elena's cross-exam gutted. Chloe buried my secret to control me. This is her revenge fantasy. Twist loomed. Verdict. Club liable. $5 million payout. Reinstatement optional. Harlan indicted. Elena. Plea deal. Community service. But as we exited court, Elena sidled close. You won. Happy. Relieved. Lie. Her whisper. Check your cloud. Gift. Later. Alone. The file I'd copied. Corrupted. Hers. The original. Doctored. Harlan's voice. Raoul talks. He swims. But spliced with mine. From a recorded call. Handle it. My words. Twisted. She'd framed me as conspirator. Feds called next day. New evidence. Ms. Ramirez. Care to explain? Cliffhanger heart. I'd followed rules. Hers, theirs. Now mine unraveled. The federal holding cell smelled like bleach and broken promises, steel bunk, fluorescent buzz, a toilet that echoed every flush like Judgment Day. They grilled me for hours. 2 agents, coffee breath and bad ties, replaying the audio on loop. That's you, Chloe. Handle it. Planning obstruction? No. My voice cracked, but I held. Spliced. Elena's tech. Ask her IT guy. She had access. They exchanged looks. Ms. Vasquez says you coerced her. Shared the original. Doctored your copy for leverage. Leverage? I barked a laugh. She flipped 4 times. Check the depot logs. Agent Ruiz, Latina, no nonsense, leaned in. We did. She's got alibis. You? Solo actor. And that firm USB? Planted evidence. The walls closed. Elena, the serpent, coiled final strike. I'd borne her crime, buried her secret. Now she buried me. Raoul, I whispered. This for him. Ruiz softened a fraction. Union files confirm Whitaker's role. But you? We need proof you're clean. Proof. The one thing the club never demanded. I lawyered up. Torres, now criminal defense. Her faux breath replaced by mints. Plea to misdemeanor tampering. Probation, maybe disbarment if you pursue law. I wasn't, but the sting landed. Outside, press swarmed. Vengeful ex-member frames elite. Mom called from Pilsen, voice quaking. Mija, come home. Let it go. Home. The word mocked. Chicago was home. Its grit, its ghosts. But vengeance? It was devouring me whole. Bail set low. I walked, ankle monitors beep a leash. Logan Square felt alien. Hipsters with man buns oblivious, to carry a steaming without me. I hold up, piecing the counterpunch. Elena's slip, overconfidence. She'd bragged about her tech guy. Marcus's nephew, a coder at a Loop startup. I reached out, burner to burner. It's Chloe. Elena screwed you too. Your uncle's shares tanked. He bid. Met at a dive in Avondale. Pierogies and paranoia. She paid me to splice, he admitted, eyes darting. Said it was a prank. Then the feds. Help me prove it. I slid cash, savings scraped thin. Logs, timestamps. For Raoul. He nodded, ghosting out. Days later, email drop, encrypted. Metadata gold. Elena's IP, edit history. Torres pounced. Motion to dismiss, evidence attached. Feds backpedaled fast. Mistake, Ruiz said, releasing the monitor. Vasquez in custody, obstruction, perjury. Elena's empire? Crumbled. Dad disowned her publicly. Marcus fled to Dubai, assets frozen. But the club? Resilient as lake concrete. Harlan plea bargained. House arrest, donation to union causes. Judge Hart? Retired rich. They offered settlement redux. $10 mill, NDA eternal. Close it quiet. Whitaker's proxy said over coffee at the Drake. You're a fighter, Chloe. But fighters burn out. I sipped black, staring at the lake. Rules say excellence. This. Mediocrity. Realism. He slid papers. Sign. I did, not theirs. Mine, a blog post, viral ready. Inside the pinnacle, how elites eat their own. No names at first, but hints sharp as switchblades. Posted from a VPN in Milwaukee, it exploded. Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, CNN panelists debating. Whistleblower or wrecker? Polarization peaked. South Side hailed me hero. Gold Coast called witch hunt. Protests at the Aeon. Compliance for all. Counter. Anarchy in the boardroom. I watched from a burner phone. Anonymous. The city's pulse my own. Elena cracked next. From Cook County Jail. Contrite collect call. Chloe? I'm sorry. It was survival. Like you taught me. Taught. Rage surged. I saved you. And I envied that. Your clean slate. I had to dirty it. Sobs. Help me. Plead down. Twist shadow. Pity. She was broken. The heiress unheard, alone. Why frame me final? Twist the knife. Make it hurt like you hurt me. Exposing dad. Pause. But Raoul? That was real. For you. The line hummed. Forgiveness? American myth. Rot, I said. Hung up. Climax brewed at the club's emergency vote. Dissolve or reform. Leakside seated. Raoul's full story, audio unedited, forced hands. Members split. Old guard versus progressives like Lila Whitaker, Harlan's daughter, who'd flipped public. Time for change. I infiltrated. Fake invite. Borrowed tux from a theater pal. Balcony perch. Heart pounding. Harlan spoke first. We've endured. Sign the NDA, move on. Booze rippled. Then Lila. No. Open doors. Or burn. Fists flew. Metaphoric, then literal. A chair toppled. Security swarmed. In chaos, I dropped the bomb. Live stream from my phone. Bylaws projected on the wall via hack projector. Article 1. Integrity above all. Panic. Phones out. Calls to lawyers. Harlan spotted me. Face purple. You. I smiled, streaming. Chloe Ramirez here. Non-compliant no more. The feed went viral. Millions watching elites unravel. Lila seized it. Vote reform. Narrow win. Club opened. Diverse sponsors. Public audits. Harlan ousted. But controversy raged. Heroic takedown or terrorist act. Debates furious. Fox called me radical. MSNBC, Avenger. No one clean. I'd bent rules too. Leaks bordering illegal. Exhausted, I crashed at Mom's. Pills and walk up. Eraz con pollo steaming. Proud, she asked. Haunted. Raoul's photo on the mantle, smiling. Final play. The email, 2 a.m. burner. To Elena. Rules followed. You're free to rebuild or rot. No reply. But dawn brought peace, fragile. Winter clamped Chicago like a vice. Winds howling off the lake. Snow piling drifts that buried sins and secrets alike. The pinnacle reformed under Lila's watch. Vasquez initiative for underrepresented members. Irony thick as fog. Harlan faded to Florida condos, a shadow of his bluster. Elena? Plea to time served, plus restitution, paying back the kids' full med costs, anonymously through me. She vanished to a yoga retreat in Sedona, posting sun salutations on Insta like absolution. Me? The payout bought time. A freelance consulting gig, remote from Mom's spare room. No more towers, just laptop glow and diner shifts to ground me. The blog evolved, compliance chronicles, dissecting power plays from boardrooms to ballots. Followers split, half cheering the underdog takedown, half decrying chaos. You polarized a city, Torres said over virtual wine. That's power. Power. Itch under my skin, unsatisfied. The twist lingered. Elena's frame job nearly jailed me. But in the wreckage, truth surfaced. Raoul's case reopened, cold but warming. Exhumation ordered. Forensics whispering homicide. Whitaker's plea expanded. Accessory to murder. Justice, delayed, American style. Mom and I walked the lakefront one crystalline morning, breath fogging, gulls wheeling. You avenged him, she said, arm linked. Without losing yourself. Did I? Nights still replayed. Elena's laugh in the sheets, Harlan's smirk, the balcony's chaos. Vengeance healed? Or scarred? A call buzzed, unknown. Chloe Ramirez? Female, clipped. Lila Whitaker. Coffee. The gauge, neutral ground, ghosts forgiven. She arrived crisp, pantsuit, no pearls. Thank you, she said, stirring latte. Dad's confession, your leaks forced it. Club's better. Better. I echoed. Or rebranded. She winced. Fair. But join us. Sponsor role. Write the new rules. Temptation tugged. The crown, reforged. But non-compliant? My badge, hard-earned. Pass. I've got my own club now. She nodded, respect flickering. If you change, doors open. Outside, sleet turned rain, cleansing. I texted Elena, whim, sun good. Reply. Burns. You. Thaws. Ending ambiguous. Happy, with scars? Tragic triumph? Readers, viewers? Debate. Was my revenge righteous, or did it chain us all? Elena schemed to survive. I to expose. No saints, just sinners in the storm. But as I boarded the L home, city pulsing below, I felt it. Freedom's edge, sharp and alive. Rules followed exactly. Empire crumbled. And Chloe Ramirez? Compliant with chaos. The hook closed. In the end, the betrayed becomes the breaker. Shocking? Controversial? Damn right. Who's right? You decide.